out of curiosity, just select the options. Okay, cool. Right, perfect. Right, a majority of you are here to learn how to make money, right? Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to be talking quite fast in certain areas because we've got a lot to cover today. So if you have any questions, feel free to type it in the question box. But just keep in mind, I will be answering them towards the end because I just don't want to disrupt the flow of this training. Okay. And if you stick to the end, I'll give you a copy of my best-selling Kindle ebook called Your SEO Sucks. Right. For those of you who are outside of Malaysia, you can get this copy. Just go to Amazon and search for Your SEO Sucks. You can find it. Right. There's a lot of raving reviews. For those of you who are in Malaysia, unfortunately, you can't purchase this. But don't worry about that because if you stick to the end, I'm going to give you a copy of this for free. Okay, it's worth $27, right? Now, I just want to get an idea of what's your level of internet marketing, right? So that I can cater to your needs, right? So are you more of a beginner, which means you haven't made any money online, intermediate level, which means you've made some money online, or advanced, which means you've made a lot of money online? And you're just looking for options to diversify. Okay, perfect. Right, we have a majority of you are from the beginner category. Okay, that's fine. Everyone has to start somewhere. Webinar notes. Okay, just send me an email if you want a copy. And this is the webinar notes you're gonna get, right? And so if you just send me an email to SEOFastlane, robin@gmail.com, so you get a copy of the notes as well, right? Okay. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this picture, which is on the left, is a picture of me taken back when I was about 6 years old. Picture on the right was when I was receiving a gift on top of, because I was doing a corporate training, okay, for my corporate client in Australia, okay. So as you can see, there's a huge transformation there. And the reason why I'm showing this picture is because you can basically achieve anything you want if you set your heart and soul into it, right? I wasn't born in I would say a family where I was given everything, right? I was born in an average income earning family. I have 2 other siblings as well, and just we're living just an ordinary life, right? And I still, for those of you who have gone through my stories, you would have gone through the downturn and the 2 major pitfalls of my life and things like that. Things turn around, but the point I'm trying to get here is that the only thing that's going to stop you from achieving anything you want is yourself, okay? Nothing else, right? So my goal today is to make sure that you live with a surefire way to get paid while you learn SEO within the next 30 days, okay? You see, I understand exactly how you feel, right? And as I mentioned to you, for those of you who have gone through my journey, just to give you a brief overview of how I came to where I am today. I graduated as an engineer. Basically I worked for about a year in Malaysia as a sales, and then I didn't like it. I didn't like the whole engineering field at all, right? And back in 2008, I migrated to Australia, and I was doing a drafting job, right? A drafting technical officer in that sense, right? And one thing led to another. I was given, because I had a lot of free time. I didn't have anyone but my girlfriend back then in Australia. I didn't have any friends and family, so I had a lot of free time. Okay, so I was one day, like, my girlfriend back then just showed me this challenge, a dollar, 30 days to make $1 online, okay, from AdDeals, 30-day challenge. So I thought, how hard could it be? So I took it up, and one thing led to another. I was dabbling into a lot of affiliate marketing, traffic brokering, PPC, PPV. I even set up my own web agency, marketing agency, and sold it off, right? So this is just an illustration. Obviously, one of my first paying job in Australia, I was trimming someone else's backyard for about $15 an hour. So it was it was good money back then, but it was hard labor, right? So think about this. I was in sales before I migrated to Australia, so I was wearing, my ties and my suits, meeting up with corporate clients, and next thing you know, I was under the hot Aussie sun, trimming bushes, right? So the problem that I had was I was literally throwing money down the toilet, flushing money down the toilet, because I was spending a lot of money in buying courses after courses, jumping from one end to the other, not knowing which courses or which area should I stay focused on. Okay, so I suppose for those of you who are just starting out, you're still stuck in that cycle, you would understand what I mean by that. And that's why I mentioned I understand exactly how I feel, because I went through it myself. Okay, so it wasn't until I started staying focused, and in fact SEO was my last resort. I was about to throw in the towel and call it quit, and I stuck with it. So, and ever since I decided to stay focused on SEO, results started to show. Okay, and this is a picture of me conducting a corporate training for my client in Australia, and here's another picture of me in conducting a seminar for all my clients here in Malaysia as well. So I'm expanding my agency here in Southeast Asia. I have clients all from Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and even the US, right? So I'm a founder of two SEO consultancy firms. One is Catapult, the other one is obviously webminar.com, which is focusing a lot more in Malaysia, right? So here's a picture of me, a collage, I would say, of my first ever mini retirement trip with my wife. This picture, this collage on its own doesn't even do justice to the whole experience, because we were traveling for 9 months, okay, from all over Europe. That was just before all the crisis hit Europe. I would say all the bombings and the attack. Okay, so, and this is all possible because of SEO, and probably this might not mean to you as much as it is to me, because I was literally at my last straw. Like, I was about to go back to working from 9 to 5 again, give up all these internet marketing dreams. Okay, but unfortunately, I was a kind of a stubborn person in a good way, in the sense that I wouldn't give up until I make it happen, right? So, picture on the left, you can see that's in Park Güell, Barcelona, in the middle, and famous tower, Leaning Tower of Pisa on the right. That was a picture of me taking paragliding in Annecy, somewhere in France, just outside of Lyon. It's one of the biggest hurdle I've ever overcome, in terms of overcoming my fear of heights. So that's why I'm on a mission right now. I made a promise to myself that I'm going to help people like myself 5 years ago or 6 years ago to achieve what I'm seeing right now. So obviously it doesn't happen overnight, and if you're looking for a push button software, unfortunately you're at the wrong place. Okay, this is no magic pill, this is no money game, or this is no MLM or whatsoever, right? It requires hard work as well. You see, money doesn't just fall down from the sky for you not doing anything. Okay, so in today's training, I'm going to be separating out to two parts. Part one, we're going to cover about what is SEO and why should you care, and how to make money selling SEO service while you're learning it. So this is, I would say, the most important bits, right? This is a missing piece of puzzle where I've spent years and years searching for it myself. Okay, and part two of the training, I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to leverage on SEO to not only rank for your own website, but for others too. Okay, so we're going to have a lot to cover today. Okay, so make sure that you get ready your pen and paper to jot down notes along the way. Okay, and if you have any questions, type it in, but I won't be referring to it until towards the end. Okay, so part one, we're going to be covering what is SEO, what should you care, and for us to understand what is SEO, we need to understand how search engine works, or in other words, we're going to refer to as Google, because as we all know, Google is the biggest search engine for the time being, right? So And I'm also going to show you how I got paid upfront to complete an order that only takes me minutes. Yes, you heard me right. It's only going to take me minutes, and you're gonna have your jaw drop in that sense when you see me, doing this demo live later. Okay, and I'm going to show you my secret formula to get hungry customers lining up to pay you for your service as well. Okay. Now, for those of you who haven't checked out the testimonial, these are some of the testimonials that I've gotten. So if you can hear, that's fine, but if you can't, that's okay. You can watch it later, or for those of you who have watched it. So basically, Dakota came from nowhere. He's still in the real estate market, and he basically came from non-IT background when he first started, and he's with the proper guidance and the information that I pass on to him, he's managed to turn it around and increase in terms of his income from his, not just from his career, but also from his mortgage business as well. Okay, so the other one I would say Larissa. Larissa is from Australia. She's a single mother. She is, as for those of you who are thinking that if age is an issue, we might think that age is an issue. Look at her, right? She's got families to take care of, and she's got to help the family business as well, and she still made it work. Okay, so, and she's been through a lot of bad courses over the past few years as well. Okay, so now here are some of the screenshots. Now the reason why I'm showing you this is to make a point here, is that whatever that I'm teaching here does work. Okay, it's not for me to show off, it's just for me to impress upon you. Okay, so I get emails like this on a daily basis, and this is some of the screenshots. I'll show you later how I end up getting this. Okay, and you can do this all without a website, email list, or even spending a single cent on traffic. Right now, you might be scratching your head by now, and you might be a bit skeptical, but just bear with me for a sec. Okay, now, earning disclaimer, you got to do this because, as I mentioned to you, money doesn't just fall down from the sky for you not doing anything, right? So our results are not typical, but we have taught our system to many of our students, and they have gotten real results. Okay. So what the heck is SEO? You might be asking. SEO is, in other words, it stands for search engine optimization. And when you talk about search engine, we're referring to things like Google, Yahoo, or Bing. Now, obviously, in this training, we're going to refer to Google because Google is the biggest search engine in the world at the moment. We even turn Google into a verb. Can you Google this? Can you Google that? So it's becoming a habit, right? We rely on Google so much these days. So what is Google? Google is actually a misspelling, I would say, G-O-O-G-O-L, and they start with G-O-O-G-L-E. Ever since then, they kind of like it. It was established back in 1998. It's the biggest search engine, but here's the thing that probably a lot of you didn't know. They're actually the biggest advertising company with their AdWords department. The cost per click, whenever you search in Google, you'll see the advertisement on the top. That's where they make the most of their money. Okay, and they make easily more than $100 million a day by now. Okay, so here's the simplest diagram that I can explain Google to you. So essentially, Google is a humongous database, right? They have millions, if not billions, of spiders, bots, and crawlers that goes out to billions of websites on a daily basis. They gather all the information and they apply an algorithm, aka their secret sauce, before they display the search results, which we normally see on our phone or on our laptop or on our desktop. Okay, so a simple query box that we type in, within split second, we'll see all the results right in front of our eyes, right? And to be honest with you, there's actually a lot of things that happen behind the scene. There's a lot of mechanics that goes behind the scene, and this is the simplest form of explaining it. Okay, so algorithm is one of the biggest, I would say, black box that everyone is trying to reverse engineer how to sort of game the system in the legal way. Okay, so when it comes to the algorithm, it's all about authority and relevancy, because if you think about it, Google is actually a relevancy search engine. Because if you search for, say for example, plumbing in KL, or plumbing in Indonesia, plumbing in Bangkok, plumbing in Jakarta, you'll see that I would say 10 times out of 10, the results that shows up are all to do with plumbing, right? You're never gonna see a results on the first page that shows hair salon if you're looking for a plumber, okay? And there are basically two important components when you talk about the algorithm. One is the on page, the other one is off page. Now, this is again the simplest format to explain what is on page and what is off page. So when you talk about on page, you're referring to what does your website tell the world about, right? The public. So it's things like your file names, your content, your URL, the images, whatever that you can manipulate, or should I say get your web developer to make changes to your website. That contributes about 20%. Now the remaining 80% are contributed by off-page SEO, which are oftentimes referred to as backlinks. Now backlinks are essentially mention of your website from someone else's website. So essentially it's like what are others saying about your website. So if you think about it, in the brick and mortar business, in the conventional business, the longer your business is established, the more referrals you're going to get from existing customers, vendors, and so on and so forth, right? Now, how does Google determine how authoritative your website is? So what they do is, because, as I mentioned to you, they crawl billions of websites, they know who is linking back to who, they know who are actually linking back to your website, okay? And if, say for example, you're a plumber, right? And if you have a backlink, a mention of your website from a plumbing association, or if you're in the restaurant industry, if you have a link from TripAdvisor, or if you're in the automotive industry, you have a link from, I don't know, a motorsport association, wherever you are, that backlink alone is worth 10 times more as opposed to if you get a backlink from, say for example, a local barber store. You get the idea, okay? And it all boils down to relevancy, right? Now, live explanation. Get ready your pen and paper. I'm going to demystify and bring it live to you and show you exactly what I mean by what I just explained to you just now, okay? Okay, so let's go to Google, right? So, say for example, we're looking for plumber KL. Okay, so for info, this is the Google AdWords section. So you see this tiny icon here that says ad. Now it used to be yellow color. Now they recently changed it to green color, just so that it looks a lot like the listing here. Okay, so at the end of the day, that's where they make money, right? The more people click on this listing here, they make more money, right? Every time you click on this ad, it might just cost the advertiser anywhere from, I don't know, 20 cents, 50 cents to $1 to even $10 to even hundreds of dollars, right? Depending on how competitive it is within that industry and how much your other competitors are willing to pay for it. It's in an auction basis, okay? Now, usually, I would say a lot of you, including myself, will just skip this area and then just scroll straight here, right? So this is where SEO matters, right? This is what we call the organic listing. Now, I'm sure a lot of you might be wondering, in those, before this. Now, before I explain this to you, I'm just going to tell you that you're never going to look at Google the same way again, because once I explain how Google works to you, you're going to see it's going to be different, a heck lot of different to what you used to know and how you look at Google, okay? Because I used to ask one of my friends, how do you think, this website gets to the first spot? And he goes, I don't know, it's just a matter of how many people clicks on those websites. The more I click on it, the more it goes up. Of course, I told him that's not the case, because if it was that easy, then people would have just hired tens of workers, just click on their listing every single day and they'll be at the top. No, unfortunately, it's not that easy, right? So, there's a lot of factors, as I mentioned to you, the on-page and the off-page. So, we're going to look at say for example, the first listing, okay? So, we see all these nice looking pictures here, the banners here, and these are all the on-page SEO. Okay, so you have like the title tag, and then you have the image here. Say for example, if you click on one of the listing here, contact us. Yeah, that's where you can contact Alex, Mr. Alex. Okay, now the remaining, like as I mentioned to you, this contributes about 20%. You see, Google doesn't look at all these nice looking pictures. I tell you what Google looks at. If you right click anywhere on your website, view page source, you see this. These are all the gibberish markup languages that Googlebot looks at. Say these are the HTML languages. Okay, so Googlebot just go through this, and then they scan these codes, and they'll decipher what this page is all about, right? And guess what? They don't see all these nice looking pictures, right? They'll just you have to tell Googlebot what this image is, right? So if you just, for us it's a straightforward, it's a no-brainer, right? We look at all these kitchen appliances and we know what's this site all about, but Googlebot will have to decipher from all this coding. Okay, now there's a few important criteria here. You want to look at the description. Here we have fast, dependable and affordable plumbing services in Kuala Lumpur, Tanjung Jaya, Puchong, Damansara. Okay, and then we have keywords. Okay, so this description here, let me just show you. This description here is what you're seeing here, right? Now, a lot of people tend to take this for granted and they don't have a proper description. Hence, you know, if you're going to advertise, imagine you have a billboard in one of the busiest street in, I don't know, in, say for example, in Kuala Lumpur Federal Highway. If you're in Jakarta, I'm not too sure about the name there, but one of the busiest highway there. What are you going to put on your billboard? It's, you know, it's a no-brainer that you're going to have to make sure that it conveys the benefit, what's in it for your prospective customers, why should they hire you, and the proper call to action, right? That's a no-brainer. But yet you see some of the, that's why you have all these second pages, I would say, results that doesn't have a proper description or I would say title. That's why they're stuck at page 3 and not page 1. Okay, so, and you see here when you search for plumber KL, you see this, about 388,000 results in 0.34 seconds. That's how fast it takes for Google to spit out all these results for you. So as simple as, you know, when we type in plumber KL, we expect, you know, results to turn up almost instantaneously, right? Okay, so let's just move back to our presentation slides. Okay, so we're back in our presentation slides. So just to give you an overview again of what we went through just now. So when it comes to on-page SEO, we have things like title tag, we have the H1 tag, which is the headline, and we have all this, which I just mentioned to you, the description and the meta keywords. So these are the gibberish markup languages that tells Google what this page is all about. Okay, and you have all this file name, content, keyword density, and things like that that happens behind the scene without us knowing. So as simple as it may seem, you know, when you visit a website, we are, you know, to us human eyes, we're always looking at nice looking pictures and how well the website is designed aesthetically, but we tend to take it for granted in terms of how, you know, a bot might decipher a page just by looking at all these codes, right? So that's, you know, sometimes up to this very day, I'm still amazed by how, you know, Google, you know, they've got the brightest mind in the world to come up with all this algorithm to decipher and determine who should be at the top and who should be on the second page also, and so on and so forth. Okay. So in other words, if going back to the on-page and off-page, we have a lot of small components that contribute to on-page SEO and off-page SEO. Okay, so we have all these small components. We're talking about the content creation. We have like keyword research. We have site creation. We have site optimization. We have YouTube video. And when it comes to off-page, as simple as you might think it is, it's actually one of the most important criteria in ranking websites, because 80% of your I would say, algorithm ranking factor are contributed by off-page. Okay, so you got to look at your backlinks, your PBN creations. PBN stands for private block network, which means powerful websites. And you have expired domains, you have selling domains, buying domains, social signals, YouTube as well. Those contributes to the off-page SEO. So you have smaller components to the off-page SEO element. Okay. Now, how many of you just had that aha moment? Just type into the chat box. Give me a 1 or aha, or just smash your keyboard. Well, I'll take a sip of water. Okay. We have a lot of 1, we have a lot of aha. Okay. Julia, you don't have to smash your keyboard with it. I'm just kidding. Okay, cool. Now, then you might ask, why is organic so important? It's simple, because 85% of all internet searches are on Google, right? Think about this. When was the last time you did not use Google? Well, for me, myself, I believe the last time I did not use Google was when I was, I would say, hiking in the Tongariro Alpine Crossing in New Zealand. And the other time was, I would say, in Mount Kinabalu. That's the only reason why I didn't use Google, is because I had no connection, internet connection, right? So, you know, on a daily basis, the minute that you open your eyes, the first thing that you do is you check your phone, you probably check your email, check your Facebook, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to check on Google, right? You're going to do some research. You cannot run away from Google, okay? And 94% of Google searches click on organic search results, okay? Just like myself, and including, I would say, most of you, I assume, you'll click on the organic listing as opposed to the AdWords listing, okay? And 42% of people click on the first result in the organic listing, okay? Now, real quick, I just want to, check if you fall into any of this category. Now, is this you? Now, you spend tons of money trying to rank sites or videos, but never really end up making any money. Or you've tried AdWords, Facebook, LinkedIn ads to generate leads, but you got nothing. And or you've been trying to buy courses after courses on how to make money online, but never really make a dime so far. A worst case scenario is that you've been reading and you've been learning too much, you get information overloaded, and you become analysis paralysis. Okay, so this is a very dangerous state to be in, because I caught myself once, because I used to be a perfectionist, right? Now I'm not. I don't think I'm a perfectionist to that extent anymore, right? So I had to make sure that everything needs to be in place. For instance, if I have to get a process done, I need to make sure that from A, B, C, D up to like A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. I break everything down. If one of the small components is missing, I don't take action, right? So I've learned that over the years that you got to take imperfect actions, and then you get the feedback, and then you correct from it, and you improve from it. Okay. So if you answer yes to any of those questions, you're screwed. Here's why. Now, imagine if you're doing affiliate SEO, if you're learning SEO about trying to rank websites. What happens if Google rolls out another weird update? And how long does it take for you to rank a website, let alone for you to learn how to rank a website? Okay? It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I gotta be realistic with you. And how much money can you afford to waste chasing after the shiny objects? They call it the shiny object syndrome, or some people always like to refer it as, the grass is always greener on the other side. So, I used to fall in this trap where I will buy this course, I'll say to myself, okay, I'm going to make this work, and 1 week later I'll get distracted with another offer which promises a lot faster in terms of when it comes to making money. See, the problem is people are getting a lot impatient these days, a lot more impatient these days, in the sense that everything has to happen almost instantly, right? Instant gratification is I would say, the killer when it comes to creating income these days. Hence, all this money game works so well, right? Otherwise, they're always capitalizing on human greed. And everyone wants to look for the shortcut, the ultimate shortcut to make money without working, right? So as much as our internet has bridged the gap in terms of getting information and making things work a lot faster, it doesn't mean that you don't have to work hard for it. Okay, you cannot find a shortcut in the sense that you still have to go through that learning process. Okay, for you to master a skill set, you need to go through that learning, practicing, making mistakes. That's just how human works in that sense, right? Unfortunately, up until this very day, there's no such magic pill where you can solve it. The next day, you're going to wake up as a SEO expert or a millionaire in that sense. Okay. And how much time you're going to spend waiting for the perfect timing to execute? Because for those of you who are in the analysis paralysis state, you are always waiting, right? No, before I work on this, I gotta wait for this. I gotta wait for this to be perfect first before I can execute this. I used to be like that, okay? And I don't blame you if you fall into that category, because it has taken me to, I would say, places where it made me realize that I cannot afford to spend so much time waiting. It's like you're always waiting. There can never be a perfect time for you. Like, I'm sure you have friends like that, or even yourself, catching yourself in that sense. Whenever someone asks you to do certain things, or go on a trip, or say for example start a new project, you always have a reason not to. Okay. And you're always waiting for something, waiting for the perfect timing. Perfect time is right now. Okay. So I know how you feel, because I was screwed too. Now, for those of you who get this picture and get the joke, it means that you've been in the industry for a while now. Because the reason why I use this picture is Google rolled out a couple of major updates every now and then. Okay, they used to roll out every, I would say, 2 to 3 months. Now they're rolling out like every week. Okay, so when we first started, Google was like in the wild, wild west. So you can stuff your keyword, you can do whatever things that you want with it, and you can get away with it, and you can rank easily. But when Google started rolling out Google Panda, they call it the Google Panda update, a lot of websites got wiped out overnight. And then they started introducing Google Penguin. Google Penguin, I got affected too, and that's how I learned things the hard way as well. So I didn't have like a proper guidance or mentor in that sense, so I had to try out everything. Okay, so Penguin literally wiped out sites overnight. Businesses literally get wiped out overnight. I kid you not. Okay, so fortunately there's hope for you guys. Okay, I like to call it Conquer to the rescue. Now, what is Conquer? Conquer is actually a marketplace where people are hungry to buy services, digital services, things like SEO services, graphic designs, programming, and audio or marketing services. Okay, it started with Source Market, where they only focus on SEO services. Now they've grown to become a bigger marketplace where they rename it to Conquer. Okay. Now remember this slide where I explained to you, there's smaller components that contribute to on-page, and there's smaller components that contribute to off-page. This is it. Okay. Now I met up with the founder of Conquer. His name is Alex Becker, where I flew all the way to Vegas to meet up with him in one of his events. So why Conquer? It's young enough and it's old enough in the sense that it's not as saturated as Fiverr or eBay, and it's not like a startup, okay, where there's no traffic to it. Okay, just to give you an idea, the traffic to Conquer is about 500,000 visitors per month. So that's 500,000 worldwide traffic. Okay, now let me go back to this. The other reason why I chose Conquer and why I'm sharing Conquer with you is because you don't need to have any website upfront. Like, you don't need to build a website, a nice looking website, a company website for you to start making money or selling your service in Conquer. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's like eBay or Lazada or Muda or wherever you're from. There's like a marketplace. You just need to set up a store in there, put your service out there, people can start buying products from you. Okay, or in this case, a digital product. You don't need to pay for traffic because, as I mentioned to you, there's over 500,000 visitors per month. And when I talk about 500,000 visitors, they are hungry buyers. So you don't need to have an email list, because some of you might argue that, the money is in the list. I would say it's not totally incorrect, in the sense that if you know how to monetize your email list, that's good. Unfortunately, a lot of people, a lot of newbies, they don't really know how to monetize the list. So building a list is actually going to cost you money, right? When you have to pay for your autoresponder services like Aweber or GetResponse, okay? And you're not held at Google's mercy random updates when you're selling services in Conquer, because you're exchanging services like your time for money, right? So you're not liable for the ranking results. You're not taking up clients or promising them that you're going to rank for their websites. No, you're just selling some of the components here. Just like I mentioned to you, like with the on-page SEO and the off-page SEO, they're small components, okay? So, and best of all, there's no waiting time. You get paid upfront, right? So, just like every other marketplace, people just click buy and then you have to deliver the service, right? So you get paid upfront. So there's no chasing for payments once you deliver the orders and things like that, right? In the conventional business, for those of you who are running a business, I hear you, right? You would have, pull out your hair for customers where you deliver the order and they still, drag your payment, right? I hate that. So now, 98% of struggling marketers are doing these same mistakes, right? Either buying push button software, going after the shiny objects, or you spend months of effort only to make pennies online because you get tons of useless traffic that never really converts, okay? Or you spend thousands of dollars building an email list that is not responsive just because some guru out there claims that the money is in the list. So, as I mentioned to you before, yes, there's money in the list, but you gotta know how to nurture them, how to make money from them as well. So you can't just expect once you build up your list, money will just fall out from the sky, right? You gotta provide value, and you gotta provide a good proposition for them to buy a service from you, or the service or product that you're referring to. And worst case scenario is you wait forever to get ranked with SEO, only to finally realize that it didn't work. Now, for those of you who have dabbled into SEO, you would have noticed that by now that SEO doesn't happen overnight. Yes? So when SEO doesn't happen overnight, let alone you have a learning curve to pick up SEO. What happens when you rank a website? Yay, does your bank account tell you otherwise? Does your bank account shows a different digit or the increased number of digit in your bank account? No. Why? Because the website that you rank doesn't mean that it's going to sell. So all your effort, your the time and the money that you spend, the sweat and tears that you put into setting up a site, ranking a site, then you realize that it doesn't actually make you any money. Why? Because you might be doing the wrong keyword, you might have the wrong keyword, so which means you've done, I would say, the keyword research incorrectly, or worst case scenario, when it comes to website conversion, there's a lot of things that contributes to getting people to buy, okay? So things like your buy now button, your, the copywriting and things like that. There's a whole lot of science behind website conversion. So not only you've wasted, say for example, 3 to 6 months time, you've also wasted opportunity cost, okay? So Conquer is very scalable, in high demand, it's newbie friendly, it's automatable, it's proven and it's tested, okay? Quick question, here's a picture on the left of Walmart, picture on the right, Conquer. What do they have in common? Simple. They are a marketplace that are filled with hungry buyers. As simple as that. So when you go to a supermarket or a grocery store, you are looking to buy certain products, right? So same goes for Conquer. When people come to Conquer, they are looking to buy SEO services or digital services. They're not there to buy a shoe, okay? So they already have their wallet and their credit cards out, ready to buy. It's only a matter of who they buy it from, okay? Now, the trifecta traffic magnet works in this way. I'm just going to reveal to you the first magnet. As I mentioned to you, there's over 400,000 hungry customers every month. In fact, there's over 500,000. That's what I showed you just now to conquer. So you have all these different type of traffic: direct traffic, social traffic, referred traffic, search traffic coming to conquer. And you set up your store here, and you have other competitors as well. So it's a matter of who they buy it from. So you don't have to convince them about doing SEO. Say for example, they're here to buy backlinks. They've already been pre-sold about about SEO, and they need backlinks to rank their website. So you have, I would say, most of the heavy lifting job has been done for you. Okay, business owners would die to get this type of customers, people who are ready to buy every single time. Okay, they don't have to explain from A to Z about the benefits and things like that. They just want to buy, whether they choose you or they choose your competitors. Okay. Magnet number 2 is, once you get lots of happy customers, okay, you can sell like multiple services. That's where you can do upsell, cross-sell, or downsell. Okay. And the third magnet is when you get paid to generate leads. Here's the kicker, right? For those of you who are a bit more into the business development side of things, you would agree with me that things like business model like Uber is brilliant, because say for example, a tour agent, prior to Uber, they would have to advertise to generate leads. These days, Uber actually pay them to generate leads. So half the time they have to pick up tourists, right? And if they're a tour agent, they could easily offer them an upsell where they can show them around town, and they'll make extra income from that, right? So gone are the days where they have to actually advertise to attract new customers. You see where I'm coming from? Same goes for Conquer. Conquer, you have hungry buyers coming to Conquer. You sell them I would say, introductory offer. Say for example, backlinks. You generate new leads. You upsell them with higher paying services, right? And that's how you build up your customer value. For those of you who run your own business, you would understand that to attract or to get new customers, it actually costs you 7 or 10 times more than nurturing an existing client, building up a value from that. Okay. So now, if I show you how to sell SEO services to those hungry buyers, would that help you? Just type into the chat box, give me a 1 if that would help you. I'll take a sip of water. Okay, see a lot of yes and 1. Okay, hell yes, of course it would, right? Now, what if I'm not good at SEO, you might ask? So you get 2 options here. Number 1, learn how to do it yourself, or number 2, outsource it. Okay? Of course, I'll prefer you to learn how to do it yourself, because you're going to make more money out of it, because if you outsource it, you're just going to be in the middleman. Okay? Now, who wants to see me making money live? Just give me a yes or 1 or smash your keyboard whatsoever, right? Okay. Cool. Now I see a lot of yeses. 1. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to show you live how I make money online to you right now. So there's no BS, no photoshopping whatsoever, right? This is real deal. This is a real deal. Okay. So get ready for it. Okay, so as you can see here, this is Conquer.io. This is the marketplace, and I'm just going to show you there's a couple of categories here. As you can see, there's like marketing, web analytics, SEO, video advertising. There's all sorts of digital services that you can sell here, right? I'm just going to hop over to my sales section. So as you can see, I have pending orders that I'm about to fulfill, and I'll show you the revenues. I get this day in and day out, okay? And sometimes I even have to refund them because it's just too much. I get overloaded with all these orders, right? So as you can see, it's day in, day out. Sometimes I get $5, sometimes I get $12, sometimes I get like over $100, right? It all adds up. So do not ever underestimate these $5, $10 orders, right? Because once they build the trust with you, they are more inclined to buy more from you. Okay, so with that being said, let's just head back to sales section and I'll show you exactly how it's done, right? So let's just pick one of these order here, right? So if we pick, let's say this one, okay, $5. So we click on this order, we'll see, okay, so they want a Botox treatment in New York City. Going back to this link, so all I have to do is go to eSign articles, look for Botox treatment article, and once you find, let me just go to one of this, right, or let me just go to one of this article, I think infection risk and Botox. Okay, so copy this title, I go to this spin rewriter. This is a paid program. There's a lot of free alternative out there that you can just simply Google. You just Google for article rewriter software. Okay, this is, I only pay like about what, $67 per year, which is a no-brainer when you're making so much from this Conquer. Okay, so just paste in the text here. So for those of you who are concerned about plagiarism, don't worry, I'll show you the magic is about to happen. Okay, so just start the rewriting process, and what this software does is goes through the article and find the synonyms for each word that's within the article. And once you have synonyms for a lot of those keywords, you have different permutations, you create a unique article altogether, right? So things like this, you can change this. Feel free to do this yourself, but for this demonstration purposes, I'll just click on one-click rewrite settings. I'll leave it here and click the one-click rewrite process. So what this software does, as you can see, this is magic, right? How I wish I had this software back when I was in university. Life would be so much easier, right? So you have this, and you'll go through you'll come up with all the synonyms and continue to final step. Okay, so generate a unique version. So what you'll see here is a 95% unique article. Okay, so what we're going to do here is copy this article, paste it in one of my PBN, which is a standard WordPress blog, which I'll show you later. It looks exactly like any other ordinary blog. Okay, so I'll just put here Botox. Okay, copy this. Okay, so let me just paste one of this. Okay, and then what they want is this text here. Let's just put it somewhere there. Going back to this link, which is the site that they want to rank. Okay, so they want a powerful backlink from this powerful website here, which we own. Okay, so and then what I'm going to do is, for more info, please visit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is insert an image. Okay, and hit publish. That's it. So that's all I had to do to make that $5, right? So it's probably even less than 5 minutes of work. Okay, so right now I have to deliver the order, so I'll just need to get this link here. So let me just click on this link here, and you can see this is it looks like every other ordinary blog. Okay, and copy this link here, deliver now. Hey, SEO Enterprise, thanks for your order. here's the link. Okay, please leave me a positive feedback if you like what you see. Looking forward to helping you in the future again. Cheers. That's it, $5. Okay, now as I mentioned, do not underestimate all these $5 order. It all adds up, and this is a simple order, right? So let me just hit back here. Who wants to see another example, another live demonstration? Just give me a 1 in the chat box. Okay, cool. We have a lot of 1 here. Perfect. Right, let me just pick another one here. This is $12. Okay. So initially, when I first started selling, it was $5, and then I slowly increase it once I get the reputation, right? And okay, so this one is Ultima Movers, right? So something to do with movers, right? So we just need to find an article about movers. Okay, so we have this article here, the benefits of choosing local movers. So same thing here, just copy and paste it in this section here. Okay, copy this. Start rewriting process. So it's just basically rinse and repeat. And for those of you who are wondering, like, you know, how on earth are you gonna get that site, or you have never built a blog before, don't worry about that. It's all point and click. Okay, so there's a lot of tutorial. In fact, I'll be covering that in the masterclass, which I'll share a bit more information with you later. But you don't need any programming knowledge or whatsoever. Okay, I've managed to taught this to a lot of students of mine with came from totally different background. Okay, so one-click rewrite settings. The one-click rewrite process. Okay, so you can see the magic happens. Okay, continue the final step. Generate a unique version. So copy this, and we're going to use a new block here. Okay, copy this, the rest of the text here. Okay, copy this thing here. So let's see, they want this to link. So what we need to do is, for more info, please visit Ultima Movers. Okay, and then we have another link here. So it's very straightforward. Whatever that the buyers want, they already stated it in the order section, right? So you're going to give them an image link just to diversify. Okay, and publish. That's it. So we wait for it to be published, and then we shall get the link and deliver the order, and we are done. Okay, so as you can see, it's very straightforward. There's no programming knowledge or whatsoever. You don't even know any programming text or HTML markup languages. Okay, so you click on this link here. This is the link, right? So it looks like every other ordinary blog. So what we're going to do is the same thing here. Hey Donnie, thanks for your order. Again, because as a repeat customer, here's the link. please leave me a positive feedback if you like what you see. Looking forward to working with you again in the near future. Cheers. That's it. Okay, that's all you have to do. So just give me a 1 if you think you can do you can follow simple instructions like what I just shown you and just deliver the order. Just give me a 1 in the chat box. Okay. Right, I see a little 1. Okay, you don't have to smash your keyboard. Okay, that's good. So it's very straightforward, as you can see here, and yeah, that's all you have to do. And once again, just want to remind you, if you go to one of this, yeah, just click on this. I'll just show you how you can upsell further. So this is just like any other, if you have been buying some of the services or products on eBay, you'll notice that it looks quite familiar, except that these are all digital services, right? So see here, these are all the responses that I've got, the feedback. So I've managed to build up a lot of reviews, and hence I can charge higher price. Okay, so that's it, right? So this is as straightforward as you can get while you learn to become an SEO expert, keeping in mind there's a lot of, I'm just scraping the tip of the iceberg here, alright? So I'm not even touching like keyword research and things like that, which eventually you'll pick up those skills and you can offer these services as well. So it's endless, and this is just one of the many platforms out there that you can monetize your SEO skill. Okay, so let's get back to the slideshow. Okay, so let's have a breakdown of cost versus revenue of what I've just shown you. So the cost of building PBN, aka private blog network. Private blog network is, we're actually referring to as a powerful website that people want backlink from. Okay, now remember when I talk about authority and relevancy, authority means getting a backlink from an authority website. So what I just shown you is actually building an article on a powerful website and getting a backlink to my client's website. Okay, so in this case, Justin. Okay, so let me just quickly show you again how it looks like for the PBN before we go through this. Okay, so this is the article that I built just now. As I've shown you before, I just want to reiterate, like, this is no you don't require any programming knowledge. As I mentioned, there's no special design or whatsoever. It's all WordPress, point and click system, drag and drop, and it's as straightforward as you can get. As long as I like to put it this way, as long as you're familiar with Word document, which I think most of you are, you use it on a daily basis, and so that's exactly what you need to the requirements that you need to have to be able to make this work. Okay, so, and that's the other one that I built. So that's it, like $5 or $12. That's all you have to do. I can't stress how straightforward and simple it is, as long as you take action, right? So that is the most important thing here. So let's get back to the slideshow. Okay, so now the cost of building PBN, domain registration will cost you about $10 to $20 per year. Hosting will cost you about $2.50 per month per domain. So we're looking at about a subtotal of $45 to $55 US dollars per year. Now, potential earning. One article, you can make anywhere between $5 to $15, right? When I first started out, I was selling it for $5. Now I've raised it up to 12. I even have some who have sold it for 15. Okay. Number of articles per PBN is anywhere between 50 to 100. Now let's just say that you have, selling at $5, you have 50 per PBN, you're making 250, upwards of $1,500 per PBN per year. Now the net profit, if you use this and deduct the subtotal cost, you're making a net profit of anywhere between $200 to $1,450 per year. Now imagine if you have 50 PBNs. You do the math, right? So, and just keeping in mind, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Building PBN links, selling links is just the tip of the iceberg. You have a lot of other possibilities of how you can make money through SEO. I have students who have, literally taken this to a next level, started getting, making a lot more money outside of Conquer itself, which I'm going to show you in part 2, right? So, the simple 3-step strategy is basically setting up your store in Conquer, sell your service, set up your services in Conquer. You have multiple services, sub-component services within SEO on its own, and you have components within graphic designs, audio and videos, and so on and so forth. And the third step is actually rinse and repeat. Okay? Now, are you learning some good stuff here? I hope some of you, I'm sure some of you have had your, had jaw drop moment, things like that. Just give me a yes, or give me a 1, or if you're exclamation mark, whatever it is, just let me know, right? Because I can't see you, so I just need some feedback. Okay, perfect. A lot of yes, 1s, and Clarice, hope I got your name correct. Yeah, no, excited. Thanks for that, sharing some good stuff here. Okay, so why is Conquer so great? Now, I mentioned to you this before, but I'm going to just reiterate this. The prospects are already pre-sold because they're already in the buying mode, right? You don't have to sell them about, convince them to buy SEO service. They're already pre-sold. When they come to this Conquer marketplace, they have one thing in mind, which is to buy either SEO services or any other digital marketing services. Okay, and you don't need to have any kind of previous client portfolio. For instance, if when you're starting out as a contractor, whatever it is outside of this industry, you would have to build up your portfolio. You have to convince people that you've done a good job in other clients. Otherwise, people wouldn't want to do business with you, right? And you can outsource the SEO work if you choose to. Now, of course, I prefer you to learn how to do it yourself, because at the end of the day, SEO is a skill set that is highly, highly sought after in this day and age. And according to LinkedIn, I was just looking at this video the other day on Facebook. SEO and SEM is one of the highly sought after skills in 2017 and beyond. Okay, and you never have to meet up with the client. Okay, so that is what I like about Conquer. Okay, so anybody can do this stuff. Just rinse and repeat these 3 simple steps, and you have a happier you, right? Set up your store, you get Conquer to send you over 400,000 customers per month. You deliver your orders, you get happy customers, you get happier you, okay? Okay, so now we're going to show you, we're going to go into part 2, we're going to see how I got paid upfront to rank for other people's website, and my secret formula to get qualified and hungry prospects lining up wanting to pay me for my service, and 3 simple steps to position yourself as an authority figure within your niche. Okay, now before I get into that, I just want to show you possibilities of doing this, ranking other people's website, or ranking your own websites. Now this is me helping other people ranking their website. Now again, I'm not doing this to show off or whatsoever, just to make a point here is that whatever I am teaching you does work. Okay, so these are all of recurring payments, right? And the best part is, once you get this set up moving, it's pretty much semi-automated in the sense. You just need to know the process, and off you go. Like, you're not geographically tied down to a certain location, right? Now you can do this without cold calling, even having email lists, or spending a single cent on traffic as well, right? Now, how many of you have done cold calling before? Just give me in the chat box, give me a 1. Okay, right, seal of 1. So I hated cold calling when I first started out, especially when I first migrated to Australia. And one of the jobs that I got myself into was selling websites as well. So when I had to do cold calling, that was the worst nightmare for me, right? So I'm sure for those of you who have done cold calling before, you can agree with me that no matter how much they motivate you to say that for every no that you get, it's $10 in your pocket, right? that is actually a way to get you motivated so that you can keep moving forward, right? So it's not a good feeling. It's a lot of rejections, and it's not the best way. It's not the ideal way for you to get customers, right? So And without having email lists, and like I said, you don't have to spend a single cent on traffic as well when you capitalize on SEO. Okay. Now remember when I mentioned about SEO, there's like small components where you can make money off Conquer. Okay, they'll like content creation, keyword research, backlinks, PM creations. As a matter of fact, let me just go to my browser. I'm just going to show you. There's a lot of other components in Conquer which we might have not covered. Okay, so as you can see here, within SEO on its own, you have like backlinks, you have social signals, you have content creation, you have PBN links, you have expired domains, PBN creation, YouTube SEO, site creation, by domains optimization, site optimization. Okay, so there's endless way for you to make money. You know, what I just showed you is just a tip of the iceberg. It's just one small little component here, which does also happen to be one of the biggest pillar in ranking a website. Okay, so let's just get back to the presentation slides. Okay, so what's next? See, I asked myself these two simple questions once I've gone through the marketplace of Conquer, right? What else can I do? So the question that I asked is, where can I find more prospects outside of Conquer who are actively searching for my SEO services fast? And number two, how do I make sure that they choose me most of the time? Okay, so the answer to that is local SEO, right? Now, what is local SEO? I'm just going to show you a live demo what I mean by that. So let me just head over to my browser. Okay, so now we're at Google. Let's just go back here. Okay, let's just search for another term. Say for example, car mechanic. Yeah. Okay, so local SEO means if there's two ways of you to go about local SEO. One is you basically approach people from the second page or the third page, people who are essentially not on the first page, and you tell them, look, I can help you rank your website on the first page for X amount of dollar per month. Okay, that is a done for you service. The second option is that you build a website, rank it on the first page, and then you rent it out. So it's like, property, you buy a property and you rent it out on a prime location. So if you have a shop lot, you can rent it out for other people to run their business. Okay, same concept here. So there's basically two ways to monetize from it. So I bet you never thought of how you could actually utilize this SEO knowledge to make money out of that as well. Now if you run your own business, you have your own website, cool, you can learn this SEO skill and optimize your website yourself or get your staff trained instead of hiring SEO consultants. Okay, now keeping in mind, of course, there's a bit of a learning curve as well. So what I'm sharing with you is the other ways that you can make money from the skill set of SEO. Okay, so essentially you can go to if you have friends and family who are in the business. See, at the end of the day, in this day and age, whoever that's got a website needs to be found, right? Otherwise, why do you want to have a website? Okay, it's not a matter of having like an online brochure or just so that it makes your business card looks nicer or more professional by having a website. You got to make sure that it can be found, correct? So, it's either you build a website from scratch, rank it, and then rent it out, which means you can change the logo or whatsoever to, the client's detail, and they pay you X amount of dollar, whatever that you agree on per month. That's it, right? So that is how you can monetize, or that's what I meant by local SEO, which means helping local businesses to get found on Google. Just like, gone are the days of people advertising on Yellow Pages. Everyone relies on Google these days. There's a lot of opportunities for you to make money off Google. Okay, not just by ranking affiliate sites. Essentially, this is like an affiliate site if you're ranking your website and renting it out. What I like the most is done for you, which means I approach, or people come to me with website asking me to rank their websites, and I charge them X amount of dollars. Okay, so let's get back to our presentation slides. Okay, so now we're back in our presentation slides. Let's just continue. So as I mentioned to you, there are two options to doing local SEO. The first option is rank and rent, which means you rank a website first, get to the first page of Google, and rent it out. It's probably going to be a lot easier for you to rent it out because proof is in the pudding, which means you already proven to them that you already got the traffic, and you can offer free trial, and it's a lot easier, right? But there's pros and cons. The disadvantage is obviously it takes a bit of a time for you to rank the website. The second option, which is what I like the most, which is what we call the done for you, which means they already have a website, okay? And you just, obviously there's a bit of a persuasion in required and convincing. So, you tell them, look, let me just help you rank your website on the first page of Google. If it works out, this is how much you need to pay me, X amount of dollar per month, okay? This is my favorite option because you don't have to come up with any resources up front, okay? So, and the best thing I like about this is that you get paid up front, okay? You get paid up front, then only you start work, right? So how many of you had that aha moment? Just give me a one or aha, whatever, smash keyboard, whatever it is in the chat box, just so that I can get a gauge on what I just shared with you. Okay, perfect, right? 0, 1, okay, perfect. So why do I focus a lot on SEO? Because, like I mentioned to you, there's no need to build any website upfront. You don't need to pay for traffic if you're doing the done for you service, and you don't need to have an email list or even a startup money, right? So in essence, you get paid first before you start work. And that's the most beautiful thing about doing local SEO is that there's no waiting time, you get paid upfront, okay? So local SEO is highly scalable, it's in high demand, it's automatable, and it's proven and tested, right? So quick question, I know I've asked this before, but I'm just gonna ask you this again. When you search into Google, where do you normally click? Do you click on the option area number 1 or area number 2? Just type into the chat box. Okay, right. A lot of number 2s, a few number 1s. Okay, alright, that's fair enough. That's quite common, right? So we human beings tend to overlook, or I would say we get ad blindness in the sense that we tend to skip the ad and just go directly to the organic listing, right? Because we, that, at the end of the day, like we want more trustworthy, like unbiased results. So paid advertising, it can be manipulated as long as they pay for advertisement. We human beings tends to skip past a lot of advertisement, right? Because we're bombarded with a lot of distractions and advertisement day in and day out, right? Now, don't you think there's a lot of businesses out there that needs SEO? And don't you wish you can have a piece of that multi-billion-dollar pie, right? Now, then comes back to this question again. What if I'm not good at SEO yet? Of course, I'm going to revert it back to you that you have two options. Learn how to do it yourself or outsource it and become the middleman. Of course, I'll naturally prefer you to be an expert in SEO, learn how to do SEO yourself rather than outsourcing it, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is a skill set that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life, right? Now, let me just head over to some examples and show you an example of how you can generate local SEO clients from freelancing sites, okay? Okay, so now what you're looking at is a freelancing site called Upwork. So how many of you heard about Upwork? Just give me a 1 in the chat box. Okay, so we have a few of you who knows about Upwork. So Upwork is actually a freelancing site just like guru.com or freelancer.com, and what they do is it's actually a platform to connect contractors, freelancers, and business owners, right? So in this day and age, as long as you can get the job done, regardless of where you're from, business owners will be happy to hire you at a certain amount of rate, okay? So this is a perfect platform for you to harness the power of hungry buyers, right? In the sense of business owners or anyone who has a website that are looking for digital service providers such as SEO, okay? They do offer, a lot of services outside of SEO industry as well. But in this instance, I'm going to focus on SEO. So check this out. You have a lot of people posting up their projects, need help doing a thorough keyword research, link building job, white hat link building, things like that, right? So it just makes sense for you to leverage on this platform. And similar to Conquer, this is a much, I would say, complete, or it provides the whole package in terms of solving. It's a project by project basis rather than selling smaller components of it. But having said that, there are still people offering or looking for a link building job, which essentially you could be looking for PBN backlinks, you could be looking for social signals and things like that, right? So once again, the same theory applies here. Build up your reputation, set up your profile, set up your resume in that sense, and you get all the free traffic in the world to come to this platform every single day. Okay, and you gotta make sure that you know how to position yourself. Obviously, you can offer free trials initially because you haven't built up your reputation. No one's gonna give you a big project if you haven't built up your reputation, your credibility. And at the end of the day, you don't need a website to get started. So don't get hung up with I need to have a website first before I do any SEO. You can get away without having a website first by leveraging on this platform, right? So you gotta be resourceful in that sense. Don't just limit yourself to just your old way of thinking of how you should venture into this whole SEO journey, right? And there's places like Guru as well, right? So these are the places that gone are the days like some of you might be thinking, okay, these are for people who are looking for cheap labor, right? The answer is no, if you know how to position yourself, right? So I've had clients who pay me, upwards of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis to complete a job that, on a project basis. And, we are talking about competing with, people who are charging $5 an hour compared to me charging $30 an hour. So what's the major difference between me and someone who charges $5 an hour? Well, it's how I position myself, right? So you gotta think outside the box. So there's a lot of ways to make money. Especially like if you're fortunate enough to have a lot of networks in terms of business owners or people who you can pitch your SEO services, then it's good. However, for those of you who haven't got that connections or networks, you can always start from this platform, right? And there's no limitation in terms of how many platforms you can sign up to. So invest a bit of a time and get through this platform. And not only SEO, right? They do offer a lot of other services as well in terms of copywriting, in terms of graphic designs. It's endless, right? So it's only up to your own imagination. So don't limit yourself, right? So let's just get back to our presentation slides once again. Okay, so now that you've seen the freelancing sites demo, so fastest way to generate or get new clients. First and foremost is Conquer. You can upsell them, just like what I've shared with you earlier. Once you build up the trust, they bought some services from you. It can be a $5, $10, or $15 gig. And once they like you to build the trust, you can upsell them to a bigger package, right? And obviously, like what I just shown you just now, freelancing sites, another way for you to generate leads and get new clients without paying for traffic and things like that as well, right? So, and obviously the free way and the most straightforward way is that you can publicly post on your Facebook account saying that, just reaching out to your friends and family. Who knows, there are people who are constantly looking for specialists out there or experts out there who knows how to optimize their website and get targeted traffic, right? So this is a harmless post. You just reach out to your friends, say, hey, I'm willing to help, first 3 people who approach me, private message me to optimize your site and get it on the first page, just to build up your testimonial and portfolio in that sense, okay? So there's endless way, like I mentioned, for you to generate leads and, build that income stream from this SEO knowledge, right? Now, the next question is, how are you going to position yourself, right? So there are 2 ways that I'm going to share with you how you can position yourself so that you don't have to go through the price war with, amongst all the competitors, right? You want to create your blue ocean, right? So first option is you want to create your application form so that you make sure that they go through the application form, fill out the details before you even disclose the price or even talk to them further about their project. So it shows that they're committed and they're serious about taking this to the next level and they're not just, price hunting, okay? And after that, you gotta create a custom proposals tailor-made only for them, right? So that you make them feel special in that sense, okay? So just going to show you a site demo. I'm going to use my own site, so just bear with me for a sec. Okay, now you're seeing my site, robin-ring.com. So if someone to find my site and they come to this site here, they check out all the details, you know, what's in it for them, why they should work with me, and they click on this button here, they'll be brought to a discovery application form, right? This is where I will ask them to fill out the details about their projects, and it's a 3 pages long application form. So here I'm actually reading out all the tire kickers, or should I say people who are hunting for price and you know they're not serious about working with me. It saves me a lot of time, right? So likewise, regardless of which business you're in, it's always better to have customers looking for you and wanting your service and applying for your service rather than you going out chasing for customers, begging them for business, right? So for those of you who are running your own business or who have ran your own business before, you would agree with me that you know having qualified customers coming in every single day is you know unheard of. Like it's the best scenario that you can ever wish for in a business, right? So, and I'm just going to show you once I go back to the PowerPoint presentation slides. There are people filling this up every other day, right? So you know you gotta obviously optimize your site. Takes a bit of a time, but regardless of you know this is a proven strategy, because if you think about it, like this is how the doctors and the specialists are actually operating. You gotta apply, you gotta go to them, and then you gotta go through a process, and you don't get to negotiate price with doctors, right? So that's the same positioning strategy that we're applying here as well. Okay, so let's just get back to the slides. Okay, so now you can see this is a sample of the application form being filled up. So you'll see here, like people are actually filling up this application form, right? So if you do it right and you optimize your site in such a way that it conveys the message, it does all the selling for you, you're not going to have any problem people filling up this form for you, okay? Now, the SEO economy has exploded in the recent years. I'm not sure whether you're aware about that, but this is an article which you can easily Google this from Search Engine Land. Forecast says that SEO related spending will be worth $80 billion by year 2020. Now this is in US alone. Have a look at this. This is a breakdown. This is not from me. You can search on Google for this information. They've done a survey. More than 50% of the expenses on web presence, which includes SEO, right? So you can see here, just on SEO alone, from back in 2008 up until 2020. So right now we're at 2017, anticipating about $68 billion, 69, right? Now this is in US alone. Think about outside of US. So, you know, there's a lot of potential. And even if you can get 0.0001% of it, that's still a lot of money, okay? So I don't know about you, but if you're not equipped with the SEO knowledge, then you don't stand a chance of getting a piece of this pie, right? Now imagine if you could pop up in front of tons of active buyers' face every single time. And not only that, you have the exact scripts and strategies that you can use to sell your SEO service. And remember, these are hungry buyers who are just deciding who to buy from. Now, introducing the world's first proven SEO program that pays you while you learn. I called it the SEO Fastlane 4 Weeks Masterclass. It's basically going to allow you to make your first dollar online within 72 hours, get paid while you learn SEO, because at the end of the day, there's a bit of a learning curve, and you can start generating anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 per month, right? So what you're really going to get is essentially a 4 weeks worth of online training that make it impossible for you to fail, right? So each week we'll have an online webinar session, anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes. I'll go over it and I'll hand you out some homework to do, and we'll go over it and we get direct help from me in our Facebook private group as well. So I'll basically hold your hand and force you to make more money this year, whether you like it or not, okay? So you're also going to get access to SEO Fastlane lifetime membership site, worth $197 per month. Okay, so this is where I cover from A to Z on how to rank a website, and virtually you can rank any websites in weeks and not months, right? Every single thing that you need to know. I've had students who have just literally followed this step by step, and they manage to help, businesses that they know, or a lot of opportunities just pop up because of this skill set, right? So I'll just give you a rundown, a live tour of the membership site. Just bear with me for a sec. Okay, so as you can see here, this is a SEO Fastlane membership site here. So once you're logged in, you get all these details about fundamentals of SEO, the technicalities of SEO, and link building strategies. Every single thing that you need to know about ranking a site within weeks and not months, right? So everything is being documented in full-fledged training videos, so you can watch it over and over again, right? So I cover every single thing from doing keyword research, and each of this, on its own, you can actually sell it in Concur as well, right? So you can see this. You can sell a keyword research service in Concur as well, right? So, and I cover up until advanced reverse engineering backlinks strategy, where you can literally reverse engineer your competitors' backlinks and make sure that you have all of them and more, so that you can beat them in terms of ranking, right? So I'm teaching a lot of advanced stuff here as well. So do not underestimate that, simply because I made it look simple doesn't mean that it doesn't work. So these are all compressed knowledge from over the years of trialing and failure, and making sure that everything that I put in here does work, and I still use it up until this very day. Okay, so let's just go back to our slides. Okay, so on top of that, not forgetting, you're going to get access to a $10,000 worth of secret training with one of my mentors, Mitch Sanders, who is an 8-figure marketer, for free, right? So what you're going to learn in this secret training are things like 3 most important habits to have financial breakthrough, how to grow a business from 0 to 6 figures a month, and selling it all for over $20 million at the end of the day, right? And how to avoid making a $400,000 mistakes. And last but not least, how to attract like-minded people and build up your confidence level in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, these are the information that I personally paid upwards of $10,000 to learn from him personally. Okay, and there's lots of other bonuses too, right? So your only job is to get this course, follow the 4 weeks training, and start pulling in $1,500 to $2,000 a month while learning to become an SEO expert. That's your only job, right? Now, what will you do with that extra income? Will you be putting towards your kids' future? Will you be paying off your mortgages, buying a house, buying a dream car, pay off bills, get out of debt, travel the world, donate to charities? It's endless, right? So money doesn't solve everything, but it gives you options, right? So you must be wondering, how much is this course going to be worth to you, right? So let me ask you this question. What is the step-by-step system that is proven to generate thousands worth to you? Now, I'm teaching you based on what I've done, what I'm currently doing, and what I'll be doing in the future. So these are not obsolete strategies. Now, you can get access to some of the most underground secrets found nowhere else for the finest fraction of what I could be charging for one-on-one client. Just to give you an idea, my one-on-one coaching students have paid upwards of $15,000 for me to coach them individually, right? So just a recap of what you get once you join. 4 weeks worth of online training webinars, which means we're going to cover 4 weeks of intensive Concur training that includes SEO fundamentals and setting up SEO services. That is worth $1,997. Lifetime access to SEO Fastlane membership site. You're going to get access to exact blueprint and strategies that I personally use to build a 6-figure local businesses. Covers all the things from SEO basic to advanced strategies I've been using and still using till this very day. Okay, now I normally charge $197 per month, right? Because I personally invested over hundreds and thousands of dollars into R&D to come up with these proven strategies. And you're getting access to this cutting-edge SEO knowledge that probably only top 5% of SEO experts are practicing. Now this is worth $197 per month. And then you're going to get secret training recording which is worth $10,000. So as I mentioned to you, this is a secret training recording where I interviewed my mentor, Mitch Sanders, so he's an 8-figure marketer, cover strategies from building a business from 0 to 6-figure and selling it for over 20 million. These are information that I personally paid $10,000 to learn, right? So these are things that only be discussed in behind closed curtain, especially with these top marketers, right? And next thing you know, what you're going to get is 6 months of closed door Facebook coaching group. Now this is where you're going to get to mastermind with other high level SEO Fast Lane Masterclass clients. On top of that, you'll also be able to use this platform to find JV partners to promote your internet business. Of course, I'll be answering questions that you may have even after 4 weeks training is over, right? So that everyone can benefit from the group. This is worth $997, okay? And then here's the kicker. You're going to get a scholarship to SEO Fast Lane Mastermind, right? Now, this workshop alone is worth the investment of this training course, right? Now, this is where you're going to 10 times your mindset, your income, and your life within these 3 days total immersion and hands-on workshop, right? So, you know what they say about networking with like-minded people? Now, this is going to be a small group of people where, probably about 5 to 6 people. We're going to get together, total immersion, hang out in a mansion or villa. We'll go through, all the strategies, tips and tricks that happens behind the scene. I'm going to share everything in my business, and I'm going to get top marketers to come over and share with you their trade secrets as well, right? And this is where you're going to, build business relationship. You're going to see how we're wired, right? How top marketers are wired in their thinking, in the sense that they might think very differently from what you're used to. And if that is what it takes, then you got to start practicing it as well, right? So normally this mastermind is worth $10,000, but you get a massive $5,000 discount if you're part of this SEO Fast Lane 4 weeks masterclass. So this alone is worth $5,000 in value, okay? So just a recap, 4 weeks online training, $1,997. SEO Fast Lane memberships are access, lifetime access, $197 per month. Bonus number 1, secret training recording, $10,000. Bonus number 2, 6 months Facebook group coaching, worth $997. Bonus number 3, SEO Fast Lane Mastermind Scholarship, worth $5,000. So it's a total value of well over $18,191. That's in US dollar, okay? So here's the thing. I've developed such a strong and proven system that I was very, very reluctant to give it to the public, because this is a very same strategy that is proven and tested. I've put hundreds of hours, to be exact, over 150 of them, over hundreds of thousands of dollars, testing out what works and what doesn't work in the world of SEO. Now, if you want to be left behind, this is up to you. I'm literally handing you the most successful system on the planet when it comes to getting paid fast using SEO. Now, you have to be willing to get inside and actually take action. Now listen, I've seen this happen over and over again. I can tell you from my prior experience that you will regret it. When you see everyone else on this call with you today, when they join, they see results, you'll regret it deeply if you don't join us. Okay? Now, first week workshop starts next week. Okay? You cannot afford to miss this, right? So you can get access to this Fast Lane Masterclass, access to the membership site, and lots of other bonuses too. So how much is this? $2,997 will be just that for this program, which is well worth over $18,000 in value. Now, I've decided to make it even easier for you to get in. Now, you don't have to pay $2,997 as I would know what I would normally charge. Heck, you won't even have to pay $1,997. Well, as a matter of fact, you won't have to pay a fraction of that cost. Now, you can finally have full access for this for 3 super tiny payments of $399 or 1 single payment of $997, which you can save $200. Okay? This is where you can join. So head over to robin-ray.com/webinar and let's just have a live tour and check out the registration page. Okay, so once you head over to robin-ray.com/webinar, you come to this page. So this is a bit of myself again. Feel free to go through them. But what I want to highlight here is basically this section here. Right, so, okay, venue, it's going to be on your computer. So online classes will be conducted via webinars every week. So once a week, each week the duration will be anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes. one session per week. I'm going to be giving you handouts, and they're going to be homeworks for you to do. You learn something, you get the homework done, and then I'll provide you with more information. That is a much more effective way of teaching it, rather than give you all the information up front. Chances are you're gonna get overwhelmed, right? You're gonna try to execute everything in one go, and that's not likely gonna happen, right? So requirement is only, fast internet connection and working laptop or computer, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, okay? And don't worry if you cannot make it to attend the training webinar. It'll be recorded so that you can watch it at your own leisure, right? So that's the beauty of it. So, unlike all the offline workshop where you have to physically block out the time, go out and attend the training workshop, this will be recorded, okay? So that you can watch it any time you want, right? So let me just scroll down. So this is some of the testimony. You can check it out once again. So this is an iteration of the additional components and the bonuses that you're going to get as well, okay? So as I mentioned, this is the kicker, like SEO Fasting Mastermind. This is where you want to get to, right? And at the end of the day, like, to be honest with you, I'm looking for a prodigy as well. I'm looking for people who I can trust to build my group as well. So if you're serious about taking your business or your career to the next level, this is where you want to be, right? So you got to prove to me that you're worthwhile to be part of this mastermind as well. So once again, all you need to do is just scroll down to the bottom of this page, and you can reserve your seat either with the one payment of $997 or 3 split payments of $399, okay? So good news for those of you who are from Malaysia, you can send me an email, robin@robin-lee.com, to request for bank details. You probably have to transfer in local currency, which is going to be slightly cheaper, right? As opposed to all those credit card charges, okay? So there you have it, 10 seats only, nothing more, nothing less, okay? And first 5 to take action, you're going to get 30 minutes one-on-one coaching session with me through Skype, right? Just to give you an idea, my private one-on-one session, I have students who pay me upwards of $15,000 over a few months, okay? So this is where you want to get to, right? I'm going to basically go through and work out a custom plan for you so that you have a head start and you know how to take advantage and fully maximize this course, okay? So let's just get back to the slides. Okay, so webinar only special, $997 instead of $2,997. So limited to only 10 spots. Offer expires in 48 hours, right? So head over to robin-lee.com/webinar to reserve your seat. So first 5 students will get free one-on-one 30-minute strategy session with me. Satisfaction guaranteed. We have trained tons and tons of students, right? People who are from non-IT background, people who haven't made a single dollar online, people who haven't had any experience online internet marketing. We've done it, okay? Now, just a few disclaimer here. This is not for you if you're looking for some get rich quick and easy money game or MLM, right? Or this is not for you if you want to spend years and years trying to figure out everything on your own. Or this is not for you if you don't want the time freedom or you don't want the financial freedom, right? This is for you if you want to make some extra income in US dollar, you are a massive action taker, you want to achieve financial freedom, you want time freedom, and you're serious and committed to mastering SEO to make a difference not only in your life, but helping others too along the way. Because, as a matter of fact, like, this is one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you as well. I could have kept all this to myself, okay? So the only way I can reach out to even more people is by helping people who are serious and committed to mastering this skill set so that we can multiply the effect of helping others as well, okay? Seriously, there's a lot of businesses out there who are dying to have our expertise in-house, okay? Now, before we get into the Q&A session, I just want to share one of the famous quote from Sir Richard Branson. Now, he says that if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, just say yes and learn how to do it later. Because if you think about it, if all the successful people, all the big entrepreneurs, successful CEOs, if they were to wait for a perfect timing, we wouldn't have had Apple, we wouldn't have had iPhone, we wouldn't have had Microsoft, right? A lot of the big giants out there, they took imperfect action, right? They get feedback from the marketplace, and then they continuously improve on it. Ever wonder why Microsoft is always in beta? Like, whatever Windows version you're in, there's a beta version, and they roll out, and there's always bugs that there's never ending bug, right? In that sense. So you gotta make sure that you don't make the same mistakes of waiting for the perfect timing, because that perfect timing, I can guarantee you, is never gonna come, right? You'll never feel that this is the perfect time, right? Unless you start. The perfect timing starts now, okay? So there are basically three groups of you, okay? First group, people who have left without knowing what the training or offer was, and they just go back to the same old routine, right? Group number two, people who get it and jump on board. Congratulations. For those of you who jump on board, you jump on straight away, and when they see a golden opportunity. And then there's group three, people who want to jump on board but still have questions. This is where you can ask all your questions. Fire your questions away if you haven't done so. I'm just going to take a sip of water while I go through the questionnaire. Okay? Okay. So let me just see here. So someone's just asking, is SEO just for marketing products and services? Well, SEO in general is a tool for you to harness, siphon the targeted traffic from search engines such as Google. Everyone uses Google every single day. You want to harness target traffic from Google so that you're not always chasing for new customers. You might be bumping into people who are not qualified yet. Okay? And you have Camila is just asking, what is the minimum requirements to learn SEO and do SEO? To be honest with you, we have trained students with and without IT background. They all turn out to be fine as long as you have the right attitude and you have the willpower and you're committed to learn SEO. Next question we have is, how long do I have to wait to see the results from SEO? So this can be separated into two parts. Part number one, if you're talking about Conquer, we have had students who have managed to generate sales within 24 hours. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is going to get that same results, right? It depends. It's not fair for me to make any empty promises because I don't know you and I don't know your work ethic, whether you're action taker and things like that. But what I can guarantee you is that if you follow exactly what I teach, you're going to see results, okay? If you're talking about results from ranking a website, it can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, or it can be less than that as well. Right? I've had students who have managed to rank a big company's website within the first month on its own, right? So, next question is content writing, duplicate content. Are we going to have any duplicate content issue? The answer is no. Duplicate content only exists within the same domain. So, say for example, if you have www. For instance, in my case, robin-me.com, you have two same articles within the same domain. If you have the same article within two different domains, it's okay, because I'm sure some of you might come across some of the people debating, duplicate content is a big no-no in SEO. Let me just ask you this question. If you think that duplicate content is going to cause issue, what do you think is going to happen to sites like CNN or CNBC or BBC? Have you ever asked, have you ever seen, well, I'm sure you've seen, some of the news articles get curated over and over again. One piece of news, they get distributed over tens, if not hundreds of sites, which share the same source, right? So at the end of the day, if you reference it back to the source and you add your own, I would say, personal opinion on it, or even if you don't, Google doesn't penalize that, right? It's impossible for Google to cross-reference all the websites in the world and penalize, in terms of duplicate content. And even if they can match up the two content in inter-domain, how would they justify or make a decision where who's the original content creator? Do you see where I'm coming from? So that is the biggest challenge, and it doesn't exist, right? The next question I have is, can I make money selling SEO service even if I'm new to this? The answer is yes and yes. Okay? So as I mentioned, as long as you put a heart and soul to it, you follow the instructions, you're going to get results. Next question I have is, how long does it take to start selling SEO service? If you're a fast action taker, within that 4 weeks itself, you would have started. You don't wait for things to be perfect and everything has to be lined up on the way that you want it to be before you start selling. No. You're bound to make mistakes. I made mistakes myself. That's how I learned, right? But at least now you have a proper guidance for me to make sure that you're on the right track. Okay. Okay, the next question we have is, this is a classic. There's so many people offering the same service in Conquer. Will I be able to compete with the expert to get the job? The answer is yes. A big yes. The reason why I say that is because remember how I said that there's never going to be enough backlinks, and even if they bought a backlink from an expert in the industry, they bought from a highly reputable service provider, it doesn't mean that they won't buy a service, buy backlinks from you. Why? Because it's cheap, like $5-10 a pop. They can afford to test you out. If it works, they're gonna come back and buy more. If it doesn't work, they just move on. That's it, right? And every single day, do you know how many people are searching, going through Conquer? Over 500,000 people going through the Conquer site every single month. Okay, it's endless, right? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Don't just focus on Conquer, right? Money is outside of Conquer as well. I have students who make a lot more money outside of Conquer than just Conquer itself. Okay. And next question I have is, I don't have any programming or IT knowledge. Can I still do this? The answer is yes. You don't need, gone are the days, of programming, knowing how to program, setting up websites, knowing HTML languages. Gone are those days. These days, there's a lot of drag and drop, right? So as long as you're familiar with Microsoft Word document, drag and drop, you're not totally computer illiterate, then I'd say you're good to go. Okay. So next question I have is, do you provide us with required training and support on SEO? Yes. So 4 weeks training where I'm going to be teaching you how to set up service and make money in Conquer. SEO Fastlink membership site is where you're going to learn how to rank websites, either for yourself, for if you're running your own business, or you rank for other people at a certain amount of fee, or you can rank affiliate website promoting someone else's service and make a cut out of it. Okay, so it's entirely up to you. Next question we have is, what are basic requirements do we have to start? I think I've covered this before. At the end of the day, it's your commitment, right? It's your attitude, your willingness to get started, right? You can have the best teacher out there, but if you come in with a cup full of your own thoughts, then no matter how good of information I can provide you, it's not gonna, get absorbed and get utilized in that sense. So the next question I have is, do we need to pay any amount fee for membership and sign up? So there are free alternative in whatever that I teach. So it's a matter of a time and money trade-off. So if you have time, you can use the free option, which is going to take you a little bit more time. If you're short of strap of time, you can replace it by paying a fee for a subscription. So for example, like Spin Rewriter, you don't have to use Spin Rewriter if you don't want to. It just means that you gotta rewrite it yourself, or you can use like Microsoft Word document, or there's a lot of free tools out there that allows you to rewrite a certain article so that it becomes a unique article. Okay. So next question I have is, how much time will it take to learn and start to receive earnings? Once again, anywhere between, when you're first starting out, there's a bit of a learning curve. I would probably say a minimum requirement of additional 1 hour you invest to it to learn and test it out. Back when I first started, the minute I came back from work, I would just have my dinner, and then after that I would just work straight off till like 12 midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, right? That's just me. I'm not asking you to do that, but if you are willing to go that path, you're going to see faster results. Okay. So next question I have is, what exactly is PBN? All I know is a backlink. I'm trying to understand number of articles per PBN. So PBN stands for Private Blog Network. Private Blog Network is a powerful website that you have in control, right? So that you can easily charge a fee for people to publish an article from your website because they want a backlink from your powerful website, right? And I'm going to teach you how to get those powerful websites and how to set them up. The next question I have is, will you be also coaching on how to rank for websites using SEO, as I'm planning to do affiliate marketing too? Answer is yes. Okay. Next question we have is Conquer like Fiverr? The answer is yes, very similar, but Fiverr offers a lot more categories than Conquer. Next question is, will I learn how to do SEO for my own business website? The answer is yes. Within the SEO Fastlane membership site, you're going to learn from A to Z in terms of how to rank website within weeks instead of months. Okay? Okay, the next question we have is, will 1 hour per day be sufficient for me to learn SEO? Yes, I just answered that previously. I would say minimum an hour per day. So next question is there any cost to build PBN? I think I've covered this before, but I'm just going to bring this up again. Let me just go back here and okay. So cost of building PBN, domain registration, $10 to $20 per year. Hosting, it's going to cost you about $2.50 per month per domain. Subtotal, you'll be looking at $45 to $55 per year, right? Now, the potential earning, one article can charge anywhere between $5 to $15. Number of articles per PBN, 50 to 100. So, do the simple math, 250 to 1,500 per PBN per year. Net profit, you'll be looking at 200 to 1,450 per year. Now, imagine if you have 50 PBNs. So it's just endless, and this is just a tip of the iceberg. Remember that Conquer is just a tip of the iceberg. You can build multiple streams of income outside of Conquer as well. Okay, so let's just go back to. Okay, next question that we have here is it possible to make more than $5 or $10 per order? If so, how? Yes, answer is yes. We can definitely make more than $5 or $10 per order, because when you're first starting out, you obviously have to start selling cheaper, which means you have to start at $5. And once you build up the reputation, you can start demanding for a higher price. Okay, and once you build up the reputation, you can even charge higher for extra services, add-ons, and things like that, which I'll be covering in the 4 weeks class. Okay. Now, next question I have is, this is a classic. If you're making so much money or income yourself, why would you even start selling this? What difference do you make? Or are you different from other online marketers that are selling the way you're selling? So, okay, I like to think of abundance. I have more abundance mentality rather than scarcity, in the sense that the more I share this, the more I can, there's a couple of reasons. The first one is the more I can share this, the more I can reach out to even more businesses out there, which it's impossible for me to help all the businesses out there. Second one is more for self-serving reasons, in terms of I'm actually looking for a protege or people who are qualified to join my team and group of companies, in the sense that because I'm growing my brand and it's gaining a lot of exposure, so I need helping hands in that sense, right? I need people who can bounce off projects. I can get things done as well. So that's one of my self-serving reasons, and of course there's so much money to be made in this industry. It's endless, right? And the more people I help, the more business opportunities are going to come out. You just never know, right? So there you have it. And I know whether you like it or not, that's just the truth. And it's hard for some of you, if you are still skeptical, for you to believe this. I totally understand that. And trust me, I used to come from that scenario as well. And up until I started to have that shift, the mentality shift, then only I started seeing my income skyrocket. Okay, so next question, could you provide your Malaysian bank account, and if I could pay in ringgit instead of US dollar? Most certainly. You just need to go to send an email to robin@robin-wayne.com, and I'll send you the bank details. Okay, so the next question is, will you teach on how to rank our own business website in the course? I believe I've answered this before. The answer is yes. And I'm just gonna wrap this up and just gonna pick one last question. I'm only 19 years old. Can I still make this work? The answer is yes. How I wish I had this opportunity back when I was 19, right? Would have saved me a lot of heartache and tears and unnecessary arguments. Okay, so here's the thing: if you want to master a skill, or you want to reach a destination that you haven't, that's unfamiliar to you, the fastest way for you to reach that goal is to find someone who has been there, done that, and follow exactly what he or she says. Okay, because success leaves footprints, leave clues in that sense. So instead of you trying to reinvent the wheel and trying to make all the mistakes yourself, which can be costly, why not follow someone who has done it? Okay, So, until you have that mind shift, you're always going to be stuck in the same circle. And that's the biggest revelation that I had and biggest breakthrough that I had when I found myself a mentor and finally, put myself in focus and, just go all out. Okay, and making sure that I'm on track, right? So, this leads me to group number 2 of people which we have right now. Okay, so people who gets it, jump on board, congratulations. See you on the other end. Now, before we wrap this up, I'm just going to share with you one of my favorite quote from Albert Einstein. He goes like, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Doesn't that sound familiar? Oftentimes, like, we tend to get into the grind and we go through the motion of doing the same thing, and the funny thing is we tend to expect different better results by doing the same thing. How is that even possible? Now you might laugh at that quote, but trust me, I've even caught myself having that same endeavors, and and it's just insane, right? When you're looking from a different perspective, it's easy, but when you are analyzing your own situation, your own circumstances, it's not that simple anymore, right? You always say, oh, but mine's different, okay? Trust me, those are just excuses. The reason why you're not achieving what you want in life is the reason behind it, that you're giving it all the excuses. So nothing is stopping you, okay? So with that being said, it's time to take action. If you're not in yet, just go to robin-me.com/webinar and reserve your seat, and I'll see you on the other side. So for those of you who are still on the fence, you can check out as many. You can wait till, God knows when the next opportunity might comes up, tomorrow or next week or next year, who knows, right? But for those who seize the golden opportunity right in front of you, it's time to take action, right? And there's never going to be a perfect timing other than now, right? So, I hope you have had learned a lot from today's session. Taking a lot longer than I expected, but you probably never look at Google the same way again, and I wish you all the best in your future, and I look forward to seeing you, meeting you in person, right? So with that being said, thanks for your time, and I'll